NFL Combine starts today, and a handful of Trojans are ready to make their mark on the pros.
USC women's hoops picked up another ranked win over the weekend as the Pac-12 regular season winds down.
And USC men's basketball got its first notable win in a while. All that coming up on more on Sports Scene.
Welcome back to Sports Scene. I'm Terrence Holton.
I'm Pickle Coleman.
And I'm Casey Kasliner. A number of Trojans were invited to the NFL Scouting Combine, but we're highlighting 3 that we think will impress in the next few days. Wide receiver Brendan Rice hopes to follow his father's footsteps and suit up for an NFL team. In 2023, Rice had a team-leading 12 receiving touchdowns and 791 yards. As a 4-year player in college, he developed speed and strength and hopes to make a good impression at the Combine.
Safety Kalen Bullock had 87 tackles, 7 interceptions, running 1 back for a touchdown, and 8 pass breakups during his 2 years at USC.
Taj Washington led the Trojans in both receiving yards and receptions as he took Jordan Addison's role as USC's wide receiver 1 and was named to an all-honorable Pac-12 mention team. Washington had a career year for the Trojans with 1,062 yards and 8 touchdowns in the Holiday Bowl. Washington exploded, racking up 7 receptions for 99 yards and 2 touchdowns. Washington is a projected late-round pick and will hope to have an impressive combine to shoot up NFL draft scout boards. The Trojans to really look out for at the combine are Taj Washington, Christian Roland Wallace, Kalen Bullock, Jarrett Kingston, Solomon Byrd, Marshawn Lloyd, Brendan Rice, and of course, Caleb Williams. All of the Trojans are predicted to be drafted in the higher rounds, specifically bringing attention to Brendan Rice, who have many eyes on him as a top receiver. Safety Kalen Bullock is also a fringe first-round prospect. The Combine begins on Thursday and runs through Sunday, March 3rd. Keep an eye on those Trojans. Now we'll send it over to Pickle to discuss USC women's basketball's final home games of the year.
Okay, guys. It's now time to talk about USC's most successful, in my opinion, team at the moment, and no surprise that that team is women's basketball. The Trojans caught fire to beat the Buffs Friday, draining almost 70% of their threes in an 87-81 win. Juju Watkins led the way with 42 points, including a perfect 18 for 18 at the charity stripe. Sunday's senior day matchup with the Utes went a little differently, though. Watkins did have 30 points, but the team fell short in a tough 74-68 loss. The other week, I sat down with Mackenzie Forbes where she shared some of her and the team's goals going into the end of the regular season and then going into this upcoming NCAA tournament.
We have a combination of talented freshmen and then a lot of grad transfers who it's our last year. We want to go out with a bang. We want to win. So I think that drive and hunger just comes from within, and we're all super motivated to have the best season that we can and go as far as possible. We have, Final Four goals. We want to finish out the Pac-12 strong. We're just focused on practice day by day and taking each game one game at a time.
USC is currently ranked 7th in the AP poll with a 21-5 record overall with 2 games to go. However, they are 5-4 against ranked opponents. Going into the NCAA tournament, bracket projections put USC as a number 2 seed, with wins over number 7 Ohio State, number 2 UCLA, and Juju's 51-point Stanford victory. USC has had 3 wins over top 10 opponents in a single season for the first time since the 85-86 one. So guys, what are you thinking about USC women's basketball going into March Madness? How do you think they're going to do?
Well, I'm confident for this team. I mean, great wins, like you said, picking up some really good recent ones. For me, it's just efficiency and consistency, right? Juju Watkins going game in, game out. She puts in so much work, so much effort, scores 30 points, almost feels like every game. But for me, it's the shooting consistency she needs to work on. She's sometimes an inefficient shooter, will be missing a lot of shots. Last game, I think she was under the weather or something, had to go to the locker room. And honestly, I think this team is very, very good. I want to see how they do in the Pac-12 tournament where the games actually count. But heading into these final few, I'm really confident that they'll win out.
I completely agree, Casey. The shooting inconsistencies have been a problem for the Trojans. You look on Friday night against Colorado, nearly 70% from 3. And then against Utah, they hit, I want to say, 2 threes. That's ridiculous. You can't be having that if you want to go far in the NCAA tournament, let alone the Pac-12. It's going to be really difficult for them to actually do anything if they're too inconsistent.
Yeah, I definitely hear both of you guys. I think something also to look at is the strength of the defense, because we are one of the top. Trojans are the 12th highest in the nation women's basketball defense, but 26% combined block and steal rate, very strong firepower. You've got Watkins, you've got Forbes together. They're putting up so much firepower. And we had Juju scoring 51 points against Stanford. Like, that was one of the top games to look out for. So if she can do that against that team, what can she do against much lower ranked teams? And she, I think, is going to score more than 51 in her career here at USC. She's only a freshman.
Well, I think really the X factor will be her supporting cast. Like you mentioned, Forbes, Kayla Padilla's been dead-eye from downtown as of late.
But inconsistent.
That's the thing. So we'll see what happens as they take on the Arizona schools coming up. But
Definitely.
Going to the men's side, USC men's basketball got back in the win column last Saturday against heated rival UCLA. Both teams were knotted up at the break, even though the Trojans led by double digits with under 4 minutes left in the first half. USC came out firing to begin the second frame to regain the lead and never looked back. Boogie Ellis logged 24 points on 50% shooting to lead the way, and the Trojans got their first win at Pauley since 2021. The Trojans have struggled in many facets of the game, and their 5-11 conference record can speak to that. Rebounding struggles and repeated missed free throws have hindered their ability to win games. Nonetheless, that with the Pac-12 tournament around the corner, USC will hope to finish strongly in order to head to Las Vegas with some steam. So, looking at this win against UCLA, it's the first win at Pauley in a few years. Are you guys satisfied with this win? Do you think it can spark new life to the Trojans that, they've been losing a lot lately?
No. I mean, come on. They're a bad team. Let's just be honest. They have 11 wins. They almost blew the lead twice against UCLA. If you look at the Colorado game last week, that was their second time they've blown a 16-point lead against Colorado this year.
Yeah, no,
that's ridiculous.
Absolutely. I mean, let's think about it. Boogie had 24 points at this game against UCLA. He has not been rising to this high point game stat consistency throughout the season. It's been low scoring, low shooting, and low making shots. We keep reiterating this, consistency, consistency, consistency. Sure, they'll have one diamond in the rough game, I think this UCLA game was, but as a team this season, there was a huge lack in consistency, as I just said, but the pieces just not seeming to come together. As much as I'd like to be this is so great, let's finish the season strong. It's just so unpredictable with this team.
Okay, I do agree. This team is not very good, but I want to get on the same page. I feel like this team has been better lately. I think they've been better. The Utah game they won, Colorado they should have won, and defeating UCLA, I double overtime. It's a toss-up at that point. I think yes, this team is bad, but I think bringing Collier back has brought some new life to the team, and Boogie's healthy again, or at least appears that way. And so I think this team is better than they were, but like you said, I don't have much faith going into the Pac-12 tournament, especially, with that Colorado loss. I think that was really bad just for the team's self-esteem.
Well, what has to change? I mean, because if you bring Isaiah Collier back, obviously they've won 2 games in their past 3. But what has to change with this team? Because they're realistically going to have to win 4 games at the they're going to have to win 4 games at the Pac-12 tournament. What has to change?
Well, Terrence, at the charity stripe last game, 10 of 20 for the Trojans. 10 of 20.
That's a consistent thing. We can count on them missing free throws at this point, though.
10, but you get those 10 points. I mean, this is possibly a blowout win at that point instead of just a few points.
I want to agree with you, but they're not going to get them.
All right, guys. I think we need to stop getting injured because that has been a huge thing. Having all these main players like Collier,
But they're back. I mean,
no, I know, but stuff just keeps happening in the games. They're leaving. They're the team. They're not working together consistently. Collier was out for all those games, lost the momentum with him. Then he comes back. We're doing a little bit better. It's just stuff like that.
I do agree with you, Casey, though. They need to be better at free throws. Andy Enfield is the all-time NCAA leader in free throw percentage, and this team can't hit the broadside of a barn when it comes to the free throw stripe. I just don't understand it.
Well, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree. But next up, we'll talk about beach volleyball's trip to the Aloha State.
And USC baseball finally got in the win column over the weekend with an important series win, but can't seem to find any consistency.
Here they come, screaming across the sky. It's Las lots and lots of jets and planes. The greatest collection of aviation DVDs we've ever offered. And through this special TV offer, you can get 2 DVDs for the price of 1. You'll get to see big planes, little planes, soaring stunt and passenger planes, even planes that fly real low. Old planes, new planes, fast planes, slow planes, smoking planes, even planes at supersonic speeds, plus much, much more when you order lots and lots of jets and planes. Each DVD is jam-packed with lots of high-flying, close-up action. This special TV offer is not available in stores. Remember, you can get 2 DVDs, over 2 hours of non-stop aviation action for the price of 1. It's lots and lots of jets and planes.
You can order now and receive a free bonus CD of Jet Plane songs. You must be 18 years old or to call 888-300-3455. Parents, call 888-300-3455. Satisfaction guaranteed. That's 888-300-3455 for lots of jets and planes.
If you want to stay warm and cuddly, then you need to put on a Snuggie. It's the blanket with sleeves that keeps you totally warm while your hands stay free. That's right! Perfect for men, women, and children love them too. And now there's even a Snuggie for your dog. Available in a variety of hot new colors that'll keep you cozy from head to toe and totally warm wherever you go. Snuggie is available at retail stores everywhere. So if you want to be warm and cuddly, it's time to get on your Snuggie. That's right!
Welcome back. Thomas Johnson is joining us to talk about USC's inconsistencies and their early season games.
USC baseball cannot get into a groove, falling to the Michigan Wolverines yesterday at Page Stadium. The Trojans brought 5 across the plate against the Wolverines, but USC's pitching couldn't keep Michigan down, as the Wolverines scored 8 times to take home the win. The loss spoiled USC's home opener at Page Stadium, one of the Trojans' 3 home fields this season. Luckily, USC has gotten into the win column since our last show, though, taking 2 of 3 from the Portland Pilots to break a 5-game losing streak. The Trojans had an inauspicious start to the season as they couldn't score runs to save their lives, scoring 7 runs across the first 5 contests. The Bats finally broke through in its home opening series against the Portland Pilots at Great Park, as USC scored 16 runs between Saturday and Sunday to take the series. The schedule does not get any easier as the Trojans head down to Texas this weekend for the Kubota College Baseball Series in Arlington, Texas. USC will have to face off against number 5 ranked TCU twice, then takes on Texas A&M in its Saturday matchup. The one silver lining to USC's 2-6 start is that the 2023 Trojans started out at 3-4-1, with all 3 of those wins coming against a Marist program that finished the 2023 campaign with a .306 winning percentage. The Trojans would finish their 2023 campaign with 34 wins and on the verge of the NCAA tournament. But now that we've talked about a team that is struggling to find consistency, let's send it over to Terrence to talk about a team that's been consistently super.
Today, the Pac-12 championship begins for the USC men's and women's swim and dive teams. The women hope to keep their dominant run alive while the men are hoping to end their 3-game slide. The season has been historic for the USC women's swim and dive team as they currently sit number 4 in the country. The Trojans are undefeated in all competitions with 2 major wins over Cal and Stanford. The Trojans have also broken 3 school records this season on their road to glory. The women will look to carry their commanding momentum from the season, while the men will look to be causing some chaos at the top of the pack. Now let's dash over to Crash on the Flash for some men's volleyball.
USC men's volleyball looks to get back into the win column with matches against crosstown rival UCLA. Last week, the Trojans dropped both matches at Grand Canyon. The Trojans lost 3-1 on Friday before getting swept on Saturday. Dylan Klein led the way for the Trojans, totaling 27 kills on the weekend. UCLA has had a strong start to its season so far. The Bruins are 12-4 on the season and ranked number 4 in the nation. UCLA split its series against BYU last week. The Bruins are now 3-1 in MPSF conference play. Yesterday, after practice, head coach Jeff Nygaard spoke about the lessons and experience that the Trojans gained from facing the Lopes, who are now ranked number 1 in the nation.
So the fact that we came away taking a game and then going deuce in that 3rd game in the 2nd night, after having seen some things that we probably hadn't seen a team do the night before, they came back and we learned on the fly, and we just keep adding and adding and adding. We've been saying it for a long time. This group is scrappy, they fight hard, they work, They are completely unified as a team, and they get stronger the more we play.
The Trojans host UCLA at Galen Center at 7 p.m. tomorrow before visiting Pauley Pavilion to take on the Bruins on Saturday at 5 p.m. Now, let's go to the beach. Pickle, what do you have for us?
All right, I've got some beach volleyball. So USC's beach volleyball team has had a strong start to their 2024 campaign coming off their national championship win last season. The number 1 ranked Trojans started their season in Honolulu at the Outrigger Duke Kahanamoku Beach Classic Tournament. After beating number 2 ranked UCLA in the first round, the team eventually advanced to the finals where they faced the Bruins once again, but ultimately lost 4-1. USC now sits at number 3 in the national rankings, with UCLA in the top spot and Stanford, FSU, and LMU rounding out the top 5. The 4-2 Trojans now look ahead to the battle for LA, which will be a home tournament for the number 2 ranked team, where they will face 3 teams currently in the top 20. Okay guys, it's once again time for Trojan of the Week. Will and Thomas, take it away.
Most spring sports are underway, so Will and I have a lot of players to choose from. I've cheated the rules just a little bit and chosen a beach volleyball duo, Maddie Kriz and Grace Seats. Kriz and Seats brought the vibes to Honolulu this past week, dominating to a 5-1 record as a duo. The Trojans were not able to take home the tournament win, but Kriz and Seats were the only USC pair to win its matchup during the championship against UCLA.
For my pick, I'm heading all the way to Irvine to take USC Baseball's Tyler Stromsborg. No team needed a Trojan of the Week-esque performance more than the 0-5 baseball team on Saturday night, and their starter delivered. Stromsborg tossed 6 innings of 2-run ball while allowing just 5 Portland hits in the quality start en route to the team's first win of 2024. All right, so you took 2 players this week. I'll let you to defend your pick, but just a warning, just because it's your birthday does not mean I'm going to let you win.
Well, Tyler Stromsborg was not even the Trojan of the game. It's not like he threw 6 shutout innings or had a complete game. He gave up 2 earned runs across 6 innings. And I think you neglected to mention that his team lost a 5-run lead, and it was Ethan Hedges who hit a walk-off win. Ethan Hedges was the Trojan of the game. If you were going to choose a baseball player, got to be Hedges, not Stromsborg.
It's not Trojan of the game, it's Trojan of the week. And Ethan Hedges' week, he hit 176. So at the end of the day, Tyler Stromsborg deserves this award because at the end of the day, when your team's on a slide the way USC baseball was, what you want...
Who won the game?
USC won the game.
His 3 ERA?
USC won the game.
His 3.0 ERA?
Well, he helped a long way. They had a 5-2 lead after he came out, and what he was a stopper. Coming when they're on this long slide, and that's what you need from a starting pitcher. That was a big-time performance.
He didn't even win the game. Look, I know wins are not a pitcher's stat.
It has nothing to do with him.
Yes, but he didn't win the game. Ethan Hedges won the game, and we talked about this last week. You are playing the best of the best. Seats and Kriz beat UCLA twice, the number 1 team in the country. You know what the USC Trojan baseball team did? Beat the Portland Pilots of the West Coast Conference? That's nothing.
You don't control who's on your schedule, and at the end of the day, you admitted
but you do control who you chose for Trojan of the Week, and you chose a guy who beat the Portland Pilots.
I chose a guy who won his only start.
Did he win? Is he 1-0 on the season now? No, he is 0-1.
The Trojans won the game that he pitched because he pitched to a quality start of 6 innings and 2-run ball. And at the end of the day, you admitted it yourself. You cheated. You took 2 players, so you also didn't follow the rules.
Wow, so that is how you think you could win. That is how you think you could win this argument. I'm going to co-opt something from the great Rob Parker. Sure, Stromsborg was good, but does he deserve to be in the illustrious Trojan of the Week category? I don't think so. But we'll move on and take a break. The Clippers are rebranding. We'll show you the new look. It's already showtime for the LA Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani took his first swings on the new team.
Let me tell you how we amplify our Latine voices. Check out Dímelo. We have it all.
Deportes.
Entertainment. Noticias. ¿Qué tal? Soy Mariela Gómez y bienvenidos a Dime la Hora.
Radio and podcasting.
Comida y cultura. Digital social media.
¿A qué equipo le vas tú? LA Galaxy o LAFC? Dímelo is the only Latina-focused media outlet at USC. Dímelo. We have it all.
Dímelo. We have it all.
Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Let's find out. 1, 2, 3.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
There's a new pet.
Chia.
Chia Pet, the pottery that grows. It's fun and easy. Soak your chia, spread the seeds, keep it watered, and watch it grow. And now grow a whole collection of fun with Chia teddy bears, puppies, kittens, rams, bulls. There's even a chia tree to keep your pets company. Chia Pets and Trees, the pottery that grows.
The Chia Pet and Chia Tree are available at Kmart, Rite Aid, Ames, and Woolworth. Makes a great gift.
LA's second favorite child, the Los Angeles Clippers, have rebranded their identity in preparation for their new home next year in Inglewood at the Intuit Dome. The Clippers released photos of new logos, 3 new jerseys, and a new court design. The primary logo centers the silhouette of an oncoming Clipper ship, which is a reference to the team's origins in San Diego. These new designs will debut next season. It's not easy to share an arena with a 17-time NBA champion and a hockey team at the same time. So, the Clippers are on their way out. Next season, the Clips will move to Intuit Dome, a luxury 18,000-seat facility with some unique features, including a die-hard fan section, The Wall, that consists of 51 uninterrupted rows. So how do you guys feel about this new rebrand? It's unique, it's different. What are our thoughts?
I love it. I think it's awesome. I think that the Clippers logo was boring before, and I think this is fun. It's paying homage to what they were with the ships. There's no ship in their current logo, and I think it's really fun. I think it's a great rebound, I'm going to be honest.
I agree. I think anytime you get a rebrand, like new energy up, going on in a team, like it's going to do is like create, more attention on the team, put more fans in the seats, get more excitement going about the team. So I think it's awesome. Yeah, I'm with you, Terrence.
Well, here's the thing with the Clippers. Beyond the rebrand, they're a team that, I mentioned earlier, kind of second fiddle to the Lakers and always have been. So having that unique identity is really important to them. And I think bringing that back is really interesting. Bringing back that cursive script they have. I really like it. But I do think the logo to me is a bit corporate. It kind of reminds me of like a cruise line kind of logo branding for retired couples. And I think it could use some work. And I also would like to see them bring back like a baby blue color like they had in San Diego. Navy blue, I don't know, it's too Washington Wizards-esque for me. But I do think it was an upgrade over what they had. And I think when you are second fiddle, I mean, you're desperate. And I think that, they're winning right now, so moving into a dome with a winning team and a winning brand will win over the fans here in LA.
It is the most basic color scheme in the red and blue, the dark blue and red. But I think it's awesome. I think it's minimalism at its best, honestly. A lot of teams do minimalism poorly. I think they did it really well in this scenario.
Yeah, well, I'd rather do that than something like too crazy out of the box. So.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Do you think the Clippers are moving kind of to a point where they're relevant here in LA as opposed to previous years?
I think so. I mean, they've got 4 stars right now. They're like 4th in the Western Conference. They're playing well.
Come on. It's the Lakers. I mean, this is the Lakers town. Come on. I mean, they've won 17 championships.
Well, yeah, it's the Lakers town, but the Clippers are on them.
Well,
they got their new stadium. They got their cruise line.
Well, the bottom line is they are an upper echelon team, but at the end of the day, they are the Clippers. And the Lakers own this town, and they've painted it purple for decades.
True.
It's purple and gold city.
Can't argue with that, but it will be exciting to see what they do with the rebrand.
Well, now, speaking of the Lakers, let's toss it over to Will to discuss LA's other NBA team.
While the Clippers remain in the hunt for the top seed in the West, the Lakers have stumbled out of the All-Star break, dropping 2 of their first 3 games. LA's defense has been particularly porous as of late, allowing over 120 points per game over the last week. They took down the last-place Spurs at home, but failed both tests against playoff contenders in the Warriors and the Suns. The Lakers are 5 games below 500 against winning teams this season, which has been a major problem in the loaded West. With 23 games to go, they sit 4 games back of Phoenix in the loss column for 6th place and appear doomed for a play-in tournament for a second straight season. All right, nice to be up here at the desk for another week. So I want to ask, Lakers have had a tough start out of the All-Star break. Do we still consider them contenders in the West?
No, I don't think they are, because you know what? You've got AD and LeBron healthy. They're still not good. The West is loaded with good young teams. Clippers, like we just talked about. Denver won the championship last year. I think it's not looking good for the Lakers.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if I've learned one thing as being a sports fan, you can never count out LeBron. You can never count out Tom Brady. There's names like that. Patrick Mahomes is another one. No matter how bad the team is during the regular season, the playoffs is where this team shows up. And look, Lakers weren't great last year. They made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals and had a very, very good run, defeating Golden State, a team you mentioned earlier. Look, I know they've been sloppy as of late, but they've also had some injuries. LeBron was out against Golden State, and look, the defense has been pretty bad, and I think they really need to work on their rotations as well. I want to see D'Angelo Russell keep up consistency, and just make sure that this team can have at least a sufficeable record going into the play-in or the playoffs.
You know, guys, I love LeBron. I love Anthony Davis. I just don't think that they can get it done. The role pieces, the players around this team, and Darvin Ham, especially at head coach, they just are not good. They are as much a contender as my home team, the Portland Trail Blazers. And the Blazers didn't win a game in February. So, I mean, it's really hard to watch because I love LeBron, but I think he needs to leave L.A.
Well, I point this out to you, Casey. We always talk about path. What's the path to, say, a Western Conference Finals appearance? The Lakers, I mean, you just take a look at the standings. There's no way they can get themselves out of the play-in. It's looking like they're going to be the 10 seed, and if the season ended today, the team they would face in that elimination play-in game would be your Golden State Warriors. The Lakers are one of the worst teams in the NBA in terms of defending the three-point percentage. Bad news when you're facing Steph Curry.
Exactly, and lost them the other night. Had an overtime thriller against them before when they had LeBron, so I guess we'll have to see, but this purple and gold team is one that you cannot count out. Even in the play-in game, they defeated the Warriors in the play-in game a few years ago on a LeBron prayer.
Look, only teams they haven't given up 120 points to in the last 6 games, the Pistons and the Spurs, who have a combined 20 wins.
I don't know, guys. I think maybe the Clippers are going to show who runs LA this coming postseason.
In terms of the basketball on the court, I don't disagree with you.
Well, Will, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Today in Phoenix, new $700 million man Shohei Ohtani made his debut in Dodger blue. It was a slow start for Showtime as he struck out in his first at-bat, then grounded into a double play in his second. But in his third, he hit an opposite field 2-run homer.
Swung out, hit high in the air to left and deep. This ball carrying. This ball is gone! It is Dodger debut!
Last few years, Ohtani has hit .257 with a .965 OPS and 46 homers. In 2022, he hit .273 with an .875 OPS and 34 bombs. And last year, .304 with an OPS of over 1,000 and 44 homers. He also won 2 MVPs during that time span. The Dodgers also signed utility man Kike Hernandez to a 1-year, $4 million deal. Hernandez won the World Series with LA back in 2020. So guys, do the Dodgers finally have the pieces to get back to the World Series?
No, and here is why. Ohtani Yamamoto, obviously huge, bringing a lot of talent, putting fans in the seats, which is good, but the Dodgers on paper, yeah, they look perfect, whatever. They've had over 100 wins in 2 years, and they keep getting knocked out of the playoffs. So I'm not seeing it. When it comes to playoff baseball, it is about pitching. It's about timely hitting. And they need to bring it to the table in the playoffs. Like everything during the regular season, the stats, whatever, it's just not going to align with playoff baseball.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Dodgers are stacked on talent, but they're 1 injury, maybe 2 away from being right where they were last season. I mean, they have arguably 3 MVPs on this team. And so, look, I think they'll get to the postseason, but losing to Arizona last year, a wild card team.
A team that did make the World Series,
make the World Series.
Facts.
Which obviously is great, but it's still a wild card team at the end of the day. And we've seen that from the Dodgers, and I think for them it's just going to be rising to the occasion. I mean, Freddie Freeman and Betts were terrible in the postseason last year. So they're going to have to rise to the occasion and not run out of steam like they did.
Right.
You know, guys, maybe it's just because I'm new to baseball and I'm ignorant, but I really think that they have the pieces to get to the World Series. I mean, they spent about $1 billion on Shohei and the other guy. Excuse me.
Now.
Thank you.
The other guy.
Yeah. Yamamoto, too. I mean, it was
my point exactly, the other guy.
They have plenty of star pieces to get to the World Series, and I truly think they can win it. Yes, they are an injury or 2 away from being back where they were last year, but back where they were last year, they still won over 100 games. It's not a bad place to be. Sure, they lost in the wild card, but it's really not a bad place.
I don't know. For playoff baseball, I feel like despite the regular season record, everything just seems to be switched up, changed in the playoffs. So I feel like we're just going to have to wait till then to see.
A long time.
Oh, well, that's all the time we have for Sports Scene today. For everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Casey Kasliner.
I'm Terrence Holton.
And I'm Pickle Coleman. We'll see you next week. Fight on!